Hi, I'm David Strickel, creator of the TYA Mindset Practice. Welcome to TYA Talk. These brief talks that I do weekly, primarily for our Patreon subscribers, but eventually I make these live on our YouTube channel with the intention of sharing skills and tools of the TYA practice for everyone. And I see I have some live viewers, so be sure to say hello. Let me know who's out there. I'm going to talk today about, however, intention. We talk about the other three pillars of the TYA practice quite a bit. And if you need a little refresher on what the four pillars of TYA are, they are appreciation, which is appreciation of all things, which is a root of the TYA practice. One of the four pillars is appreciation, meaning we strive to find value in all experiences across all humanity, across all time. So appreciation is a very important pillar. The next pillar is polarity, understanding that we live in a polarized environment, that the entire universe is polarized. There is a flow of energy that is not static. That flow of energy, for lack of better terminology, to use human terminology, flows from high vibration up our spiral, complete source, to something less than that, all the way down to what we call the bottom of our spiral, which is experienced in physical for humanity as complete despair, complete hopelessness, and everything in between. And of course, the pillar of polarity in the TYA practice is really about knowing about polarity, understanding vibrational flow, that we are moving through this flow that is not static, that is fluctuating up and down all the time, and that we are responding to that vibrational flow. TYA isn't going to get us out of polarity. The only way to escape the impact of polarity is to no longer be in physical. The death experience delivers us from polarity into an experience that is pure positive or pure source. So as long as we're physical, we are going to move through this up and down vibrational flow. And TYA is not about stopping that. TYA is about how we experience it, because our experience of our natural vibrational flow is learned behavior. It's our choice. We choose to experience, just like we choose to fear and judge. We choose to not appreciate all that is. And we are heavily impacted by what I often refer to as the matrix in our choices. We are taught to not like certain things. Certainly, we are discerners of preference, and there are things that we naturally prefer and things that we naturally do not prefer. But the judgment of anything as this shouldn't be happening, or it shouldn't exist, or I shouldn't be experiencing that, that's an opinion. And that's an opinion that we can release if we choose to. And we can release it in general. We can release it in the moment. We can release it at the onset of an unwanted person, circumstance, or event crossing us, mentally or physically. And so that's the first two pillars of the TYA practice. The third is source. The reason that we made source its own pillar is because we do have a belief that there is an energetic force, if you will, or an energetic quality to the universe that is the expansive creative quality of the universe. I describe this as pure positive or pure love. That's how I experience it. And it is polarized, though, because source itself is not polarized, but our separation from source because of polarity is an aspect of universal creation that causes us to separate, to go down our spiral, to experience things unwanted, and to create new things, new creations from that perspective, from that lower vibrational place, from the obstacles that they place in our paths from being in low vibration. It's a natural occurrence. It's why physical exists, and it creates a lot of continued expansion into infinity for the universe, because we are infinitely expressing in physical environments. And in this expression in physical environment, we're polarized. But when we're in a physical environment, not only are we polarized, we also acquire a different consciousness that serves to separate us from source. So there is this duality in the universe for sure, But when I speak of source, I am speaking of the highest vibration of that duality experience. So those first three pillars really work in harmony to raise our vibration and allow us to be more source-like in our experience as a human being. The fourth pillar, and we don't talk about this one as much because the first three, you could say they sort of take care of everything. Raising your vibration is going to deliver a magical life experience. Lowering your vibration is going to deliver an expansive experience, but we're going to receive more of the things that are not our preference down there. We're going to have more struggle, more challenges, and things of that nature in that lower vibrational space. We all know people who operate in a lower vibrational space most of the time as their default. Most of humanity, if you've taken the numeric spiral, and if you haven't, I strongly suggest you go to YouTube and find the numeric vibrational spiral training that I have and take that, because it's very helpful to start thinking of your vibration in terms of a numeric value. Most of humanity is operating at -5, which is compliancy, which is what the matrix is all about. The matrix is not about taking us down to despair. We're not useful beings in despair, but we are very useful beings for others when we're operating just a little bit below neutral, down in -5. We are cogs in the machine, if you will, and that's by design. That humanity has created that for itself. It moved us through a series of experiences that brought us to a place where we're now becoming so intelligent that we're questioning that very matrix that brought us here, because it's becoming obsolete. So we make the matrix obsolete, we make ourselves a source being, and you sort of have two choices here. You can strive to be a source-like being and experience life as that and allow whatever unfolds to unfold, because there's no rules in TYA. You don't have to have intention. You don't have to do any of these things. However, the intention component is about us acknowledging that we didn't come here just to be source beings, that we came here to mix it up. We came here to create. We came here to have the low vibration experiences. We came here to have the spin outs. And we absolutely came here to have experiences. We came here to establish preferences for the people, circumstances, and events that we want to experience. Sort of the opposite of our transgressors. So intention is all about that. Intention is, okay, you're doing the first three pillars, you're working these as your new way of life. You are working these all day, every day, paying attention to where your vibe is, always moving towards something that is going to raise your vibration, always moving back into source with the goal of moving through life in such a way that you are becoming more and more and more and more aligned with source, meaning you are continually raising your default vibration. As you clean up your transgressors through the appreciation pillar, you're going to naturally do that. When you start paying more attention to your vibration through the polarity pillar, you're going to naturally do that. When you focus on being more source-like, you're going to be more source-like. So if you're doing those three things, you're doing TYA. That's what TYA is. But the fourth is, okay, what do I want to experience? Because TYA is not about sitting and meditating your life away. TYA is about experiencing the pleasures of being a human being, the joy of being a human being. And there's no judgment. So anything that you might want in quote unquote 3D to experience, you can still want and desire in TYA. The difference is we are putting our own joy and raising of vibration ahead of those experiences. Because if you don't work on joy first and being a joyous being, there's no amount of abundance that's then going to make you joyful. You have likely encountered in this world people who have a lot of material abundance who are not joyful beings. They're terrified someone's going to take it away. They're angry. Twitter is just full of these individuals that are very successful, wealthy people who are living these lives in 3D that are very enviable or can be very enviable, and yet they're still not happy. Why is that? Because they're not joyous beings. And there are some very successful people who do present a vibration of being a joyous being. I encounter them. They seem to be a minority in that count, but we see joyous beings at every economic level. We see joyous beings across every race, in every place. There is an opportunity to experience joy regardless of where you are in the 3D matrix or what you're experiencing in the 3D matrix. So we are making joy a priority because the wanting of things and experiences and circumstances and events that are our desires, the end goal there is for us to experience joy in the having of them. So the key here is to make yourself a joyous being by raising your vibration and then discerning preferences for what you want to experience. And I find it an interesting game, if you will, to be a source-like being in appreciation of all that is, and remembering that we still have things that we want to experience. And only you can answer what that is. And sometimes I want to ask the question, when you get into a practice like this, are there elements of humanity that you have sort of given up on because you stopped believing that you would ever be able to experience them? And then the next question is, well, if you do have some things, how magical do you want your life to be? How magical do you want this experience to be? And that's completely up to you, because there's no such thing as impossible in the energetic realm. And the energetic realm is the creator of the physical realm. So that means there is no such thing as impossible in the physical realm. Not yet possible, not yet achieved, or that really means not yet achieved. We see barriers and records being broken all the time because of the expansive nature of humanity. Somebody comes and sets a record at something, whether it's money or a physical achievement of some sort, or a sporting achievement of some sort, or a literary achievement of some sort. And we notice that things always evolve and things are always actually getting better. We have all of our creations ultimately evolve into something a bigger version of, or a more efficient version of, or a more perfect version of. That's a sign of the expansive nature of the universe. And yes, we're in duality, so not everything is getting more perfect all the time, but acknowledging, as we do in this practice, that in the creative process, the lowering of vibration and the semi, if not complete, destruction of a creation is part of the creative process. Because when you're creating something and it's all coming together, and then all of a sudden it all sort of unravels and falls apart, that is the universe providing an opportunity for us to experience the flaws of what we were creating on any topic. Doesn't matter. This is the process of creation. So when we experience these flaws, we can then build back and create an even better or more perfect version of it. That means health-wise, relationships, money, businesses, new inventions. It doesn't matter what it is. That is the universal process of creation. But how often do we listen to the matrix and decide when something unravels to let it go and to quit? Well, maybe that's a clear sign that you weren't that committed to it in the first place. As soon as things got a little rocky, you retreated and moved on to something else. And that's okay. That's sort of what the stream says, you weren't ready for it, your manifestation. But that was your choice. You judged it as such. So what I would guide you to do is explore, wow, why do I habitually cut and run at the first obstacle? The obstacle is my own creation. Because I moved down in vibrational flow, I started picking apart my invention, my creation, whatever it was, or questioning it. How is that going to work? Why is it taking so long? What's wrong with me? Here's a red flag that's popped up. Let the thing unravel a little bit. Allow the process to run its course, and understand that the only time you will ever fail at anything is when you quit. And if you discern a preference to quit, it's completely okay. No one is telling you that you're not allowed to quit in this practice. You can have the quitting experience. You can have the retreating experience. You can take as long to create anything as you want. Doesn't matter, because it's all expansive experience. Your quitting doesn't bring your desire to fruition necessarily, but it delivers the expansive journey, which is the purpose of coming to physical in the first place. So mission accomplished one way or the other. There's no getting it wrong, truly. But when you allow yourself to reignite your passion on something that you've let go, understanding now the rules of the game, because no one else is telling you the rules of the game. We have discovered the rules of the game. Oh, wait, vibrational flow. When things start to unravel, you're just experiencing a lower vibrational period. And when you find appreciation for that unraveling and for the clarity it can deliver, here's something that I'm seeing now in my creation that I'm realizing I can do a better job of creating. I can appreciate it for exactly what it is. And in my appreciation of it, raise my vibration right back to that of source. And in that source space, I cannot possibly go wrong, because it is pure love, pure abundance, pure joy. And that's what we are all moving toward, is a vibration that's more aligned with that and out of the muck of the matrix, which is all about, it's too difficult, it's impossible, you can't do it, you're not blessed, you're not privileged enough, whatever those little sayings of the matrix are that try to convince us that we're less than or not able to. These things that we allow ourselves to give ourselves permission to fail. You can choose that or not. So in the pillar of intention, it's all about, what do I really want to experience? If I start dreaming big in the beginning, my dreams feel good. But then if I revisit those dreams at a different point, I may not feel as good about them. But that's just because of vibrational flow. And if I'm down in the muck of low vibration and I start to think about a desire and it seems stupid or silly or impossible or too difficult or never going to happen, I realize that, wait a minute, I have no business thinking about my desires when I'm down my spiral. I have no business thinking about that stuff down here. I am going to put that on the shelf and I will revisit it when I'm in a better vibrational space. Right now, I'm recognizing, because I don't feel joyful about everything, that I'm not as aligned with source as I would like to be. So what can I do now that will make me joyful first? Appreciation exercises, meditation, finding things that you know will raise your vibration, even if they seem stupid or silly in that low vibrational state. Oh God, meditation, I don't want to hear about that. Oh, going and watching, positive videos or affirmations, it's just annoying down here. Okay, there's something else that you need to do, and you've got to build your own unique toolkit, because only you know exactly where you are vibrationally. I cannot just write a prescription for you to say, this is exactly what you need to do right now in this vibrational space. That figuring that out is your journey. I'm not here to take away your experience of vibrational flow. I am here to guide you, if you so choose, to experiencing it differently. Recognizing that, hey, I'm not where I want to be vibrationally right now. I have no business thinking about or planning anything. I have no business doing anything. Down here, I'm going to be creating obstacles. I'm going to be unraveling positive manifestations. I'm going to not feel hopeful down here. And it's just because I'm down here. So what can I do from here to start the positive momentum and start my vibration going back up? And you can work your way all the way back up your spiral, but understand that you are working your way up the spiral. Don't try to reach for that source perspective of pure love and pure joy from down your spiral. It's just not available to you. That's why it's a spiral. You've got to work your way up, but you will. You'll start to build positive momentum and just finding the smallest things to appreciate, just getting outside and looking at the sky and taking a few deep breaths and feeling that little morsel of relief is huge, because you've just changed your vibration. You've just moved out of this channel into this higher channel, this higher frequency. And you want to keep going, but don't activate the vibration of need on any of these things, because as soon as you start thinking, well, I've got to be up my spiral, I can't be down here, you're lowering your vibration. Appreciate where you are and reach for something more. Appreciate where you are and discern a preference for something more, understanding that you can be a joyful being all the time, regardless of where you are vibrationally, simply by appreciating exactly where you are and not trying to go to work on things when you are not properly prepared because you're too far down your spiral. So move up the spiral, discern that preference for something that feels better. And then when you know you're up in high vibrational territory because you feel good, because you are loving all that is, because positive thoughts and your belief is returned to you, then you start creating. Then you revisit that thing that you want to create. Then you look back at your unraveled manifestation in appreciation and clarity. And then you say, that's why it didn't work. That's why it unraveled. That's okay. This is part of the process. It's helping me create a more perfect version of my desire, period. And this process is amazing. And it's never about how long it takes. It doesn't matter how long it takes because the process of creation creates the expansion, which is the whole purpose of life in the first place. So I'm here in the process of creation. I'm discerning a preference. I'm setting an intention. That is the power of intention and the pillar of intention. And here I am moving back in the direction of that which I desire, loving this up and down creative process. And when it appears, it appears. I don't need it to be joyous. I don't need it to love myself. I don't need it to love all that is. I don't need it to feel worthy. I am already there in those feelings. This is just something that's going to add to my human experience. It's just a preference. What a high vibrational, loving, self-loving mindset is that? That you don't need any of this stuff. It is all just an intention. Wouldn't it be nice? It would be lovely to experience this. But I don't have to have it to be joyful because I am already joyful. I am already in appreciation of what is. And I'm in such high vibration of my appreciation of what is that abundance is guaranteed to me because source is pure abundance. I'm up here hanging out with source, loving all that is, not letting anything trigger me down my spiral because I've done the work and I've healed the triggers and I'm up here now in a higher vibrational space. How magnificent it is to exist and operate up here. And then when I do get dragged down into lower vibration from time to time, I realize that I'm down there. I self-care and I do the things to move right through that experience. I appreciate being down. I appreciate what is offered to me in those lower vibration. Great clarity of what needs addressing in my life, what is triggering me when I'm down here, what's existing in my vibrational basement. That's what I want to find out because I want to find new appreciation for all those things and release and clean out my vibrational basement and go lighter and lighter and lighter, where I move up my spiral with greater ease on an ongoing basis until I choose to depart this life. Those are the 4 pillars of TYA, and specifically that is the pillar of intention. And they're all important. They are all that TYA will ever be. Because notice they don't include rules or judgment or worship or any of that stuff. And notice that they all work in harmony with one another. And the reason that we put intention as the 4th pillar, sort of at the end of these discussions, is because we don't want to set a whole lot of intentions until we've done the work to allow them to actually come to be and that we can actually enjoy our intentions. We should enjoy the things that have not yet manifested. How wonderful it is to have dreams. What a gift it is to not have everything. Because once you have everything, you're going to get bored with it. We're creators first. So once you seem to have everything, what are you going to do? You're going to create some drama, some demanifestation, some issues in your life for the challenge of creating something new. So this is not a race to have it all. Period. This is a moving through the human journey, expanding the experience. Regardless of what we're experiencing, we are expanding. That's the purpose. And learn to love all of it, and you will be a joyous being. Thank you so much for watching.